It's great to have you here on the Clark Howard Show. You know, our mission is to serve you with advice and information that empowers you so you make better financial decisions in your life. And I'm going to begin today's show with an update on how I decided to work out my streaming TV dilemma. I realized that I never explained what I did other than firing YouTube TV. And people want to know, how did I deal with my addiction to football and lower my bills at the same time? And later, as more and more of us are living longer, paying for nursing home and long-term care is going to get even more complicated. If you have a loved one or you're helping a friend try to navigate the system, I've got something so important to warn you about as the helper or as the relative of the individual seeking care. But right now, the streaming update. So back in the spring, YouTube TV, which used to be a screaming deal, became so expensive. Basically $83 a month base. So I dumped it. And when I went to dump it, they offered to roll back the price for a period of time. So I said, okay, I'll see what happens. So I went through that period of time. And then I dumped them again, and they didn't offer another retention deal. So then got rid of it. And so, okay, this is terrible. Maybe because it was summer, nobody noticed. Nobody noticed that we had no TV streaming service that was like traditional cable TV, which is kind of what YouTube TV, Hulu Live, Sling, and Fubo, they're all these things that kind of are their version of what people used to buy in a cable bundle. And so eventually my wife said, weeks after I had disconnected YouTube TV, our YouTube TV's not working. I said, that's because I disconnected it. And she said, well, what are we going to do instead? So I went hunting and we looked at Philo. What I did is I went on our streaming guide tool at clark.com and I went through channels with her. I said, well, do you need this? Do you need that? Blah, blah, blah. And eventually it turned out that the best deal we could do was Sling. And Sling is costing, if I remember right, $62 a month instead of the $83 a month with YouTube TV. And so far, so good. I've got my ESPN feeds, and I bought a 50-mile range antenna for the TVs. And what I've discovered watching some college games is I'm getting a better picture for the games with the antenna than I can get through Sling TV, or in some markets, Sling TV doesn't have all the local channels, but you're going to get them with that antenna. And so the antenna sits behind the TVs. You don't see it, and it pulls a strong signal. Now, the thing I did was I tried just an antenna, didn't pull enough signal. So then I looked at reviews online, and I bought 50-mile range indoor antennas that just attached to each TV, and now I'm getting a fine signal of local channels, getting a lot more local channels than I even knew existed. And then I've got the Dish Network, the Sling TV, that's Dish Network digitally or streaming, and I've been fine. I have not renewed, for the first time ever, I have not renewed NFL Sunday Ticket. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to hold out. I'm not having the shakes at all without NFL Sunday Ticket. It's not bothering me a bit. But maybe I'm going to end up with enough football just with what I have available with my antenna and with what I'm able to get on Sling. Do you think I'll make it? I mean, I've been an NFL Sunday Ticket subscriber since the beginning of NFL Sunday Ticket.
So I just entered an NFL game of I don't know what you call it. It's not a fantasy football league, but Joe, super fan of the show, he got me into this thing where every week you pick the winning teams on the NFL games because I wanted to care. I wanted a reason to care about the games. And so you
have to be a gambler to care?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then each week, there's I don't know how many people in there, you can win more than you put in for the whole season each week if you get the most games right. So we'll see. But what I did, I canceled my YouTube TV because I do not watch it. And
you canceled yours also?
I did. And I signed up with ESPN's standalone service, which is
$29 a month.
Or $30 a month.
And for a year you get Disney Plus and basic Hulu included.
Yeah.
So and after that, you'll pay who knows what.
I won't.
A year out.
I won't. So we'll see what else is available then, I guess. And I may cancel it after football season because I won't watch it.
Because football is your life?
Football's not my life, but I enjoy a college football Saturday.
So you get a better deal if you don't think you're going to cancel the new ESPN bundle, which is the new standalone thing. If you pay a year up front, which is $2.99 versus $29.99 a month. And so that means you're getting 2 months free out of 12. But doing what you're doing, if you're only doing it for football season, canceling at the end of the season would be a much cheaper option.
Yeah. Okay. And of course, because I'm a flake, I need to put on my calendar when to cancel it.
100% with any subscription, any streaming service.
All right, we'll go to questions. James in Georgia says, "Hey, Clark, I love football as much as you do.
Because football is my life.
And my wife loves you more than we love football. We listen to the radio where you do segments too, and every weekday morning Tishley hears both your segments, and I wake up to see your face every Saturday morning while she catches up on your podcast from the week. She works hard to keep us on a Clark-approved budget, so we don't pay for TV except during football season. As much as it pained her, last year we subscribed to YouTube TV for 5 months because it was the best deal she could find for the NFL ticket and Red Zone. Help me out this year. What is the cheapest way to watch as many NFL games as possible without breaking the bank? Keep up the amazing work and go Falcons."
So, again, the antenna is the cheapest show in town.
But if they want Sunday ticket, let's answer that one.
Well, yeah, NFL Sunday ticket.
Is there the Amazon Prime deal still around? Remember you did that one year? If you're a Prime member?
Yeah, if you're a Prime member, then you get just the games that Amazon carries. I saw an article in USA Today showing if you wanted to watch all the games from your favorite team, how many different streaming services you would have to subscribe to over the course of a season to watch all of them. Now, the greatest way to get NFL Sunday Ticket is enroll full-time in college. Then you get it for the season for $109 instead of, is it $400 now? Something like that.
So if you had a college student, they might share their...
You could, if you had a college student...
Which you happen to have, interestingly enough.
Yeah, but he won't share his NFL Sunday Ticket with me. Are you kidding? If Grant gets the $109 student deal... He's never giving me the username and password because only one person can watch at a time. But yeah, you got a college student, you can rent one from a friend. That's the cheapest way to get NFL Sunday Ticket.
All right. I've got a college student you can rent who doesn't watch the NFL, actually. Mark in West...
He doesn't?
No. Mark in West Virginia says, "My cable provider is recommending a $10 a month discount if I change my autopay from credit card to checking account. This seems like a huge savings. What's the catch? Would you recommend it? For context, They offer a $5 a month discount if paying by a debit card and no discount if paying with a credit card.
So here's the catch. Everybody's trying to wean people off of using credit cards. And so for now, they'll offer you a $10 monthly discount if you link it to a checking account and have them automatically through ACH grab the money. And so for now, it will save you the $120 a year. At some point, they won't let people pay by credit card at all, or they may surcharge credit cards. So I would say you grab the money you can get for now. And there is a slightly higher risk of financial shenanigans when you link your checking account than when you link a credit card. But the risk is low enough that I would take the $10 a month savings for as long as that's something you can do. But this is getting serious with merchants of all sizes saying, no, we're not going to be ripped off by the Visa MasterCard cartel anymore. And so we're going to either charge people more if they use a card or give them a discount if they don't use a card, which is what's happening in this case, because the credit card merchant fees are out of control because of the price fixing and collusion in the United States. And by the way, this doesn't happen elsewhere in the world. This is a U.S. unique problem.
Dan in Minnesota wrote in with this: thanks for all the great work you do. You saved me a few £100s on summer travel in the UK this year by reminding me to reshop my hotel reservations prior to departure. We raised a pint to you at a London pub in thanks. Recently, our family donated items that belonged to Claudette, a family member who had been living at a senior memory care facility. One of the items was a smart TV. A few months later, Claudette incurred about $50 in Amazon fees for various movie rentals and a monthly subscription to a karaoke channel.
Really?
We discovered...
You don't want to hear me sing karaoke.
Me either, unfortunately. I wish. We discovered that the donated television had an Amazon Prime app that was still registered to Claudette's Amazon account. We are chalking up the fees as an oversight. Hopefully, the new person using the TV enjoyed the movies and the karaoke. But please remind your listeners to deactivate any account logins to smart TV apps before donating an old television.
100%. This happens over and over again, embedded in brand name TVs like a Samsung or an LG or a Vizio, or it happens with things like Roku, an Amazon Fire TV, anything like that. If you do not wipe it clean, whoever gets that TV after you donate it suddenly is streaming at your expense. And this is something I'm hearing more and more of, because when you donate an old TV, you don't think to wipe it clean. When you donate a computer, you might drill the hard drive or whatever you do. You're certainly going to wipe it clean. But we don't think about smart TVs now, and all TVs are pretty much smart now. We don't think about them being essentially a computer, and important information can be on it. So please wipe it clean. On the first thing you said about reshopping your hotel, this is something I do for air flights, car rentals, and hotels every single trip. And I know it seems like a lot of busy work, but I even, I think we posted a video on social media of me on a flight a couple of weeks ago, and I was going to 2 different cities on that trip. And on my flight, I had access to free Wi-Fi, and I reshopped my car rentals, and I was getting the first one in just 2 hours. And the car rental price dropped like a rock for the first rental, and then I went, oh, well, I need another car 2 days from now. Let me reshop it. The car rental fell in half in price. By shopping same day, I got a much cheaper deal. So everybody's pushing you now to prepay or do non-refundable. Flights, hotel rooms, car rentals. With an airline flight, Don't buy basic economy where you're stuck. Buy regular economy where you have the ability to at least get a credit at no cost, changing to a cheaper flight, or even rebooking cheaper on the flight you're already on. Reshop your hotel. Hotels push so hard. Hey, we'll give you an extra 10% discount if you buy the hotel room non-refundable. Bad on so many levels. Don't do it. Shop that hotel room again and again, refundable room rates, and you'll be amazed if you'll do this consistently, how much money you'll save on all three phases of a typical trip by air: car rental, flight, hotel. And coming up ahead, there's something you got to know that is a plague hitting people around the country. And it's when you're being a good Samaritan or a good relative, helping a friend or family member shop for a place to move when they need some form of assistance and care. Most often, it can be nursing, skilled nursing, memory care, or assisted living. There's something you gotta know. There's something that I've given warnings about for so long, I don't even know how long it's been. It is dishonest people at care facilities for senior citizens, where you as an individual, maybe just a friend of the individual, have been helping them find the place they should go. And most often it will be an adult child or an adult daughter-in-law or son-in-law who's helping a relative find a placement that's appropriate. And then you find the place you want to go to, you want them to live in. And there's a whole bunch of paperwork, a flurry of paperwork. And you need to know that over and over and over again, without realizing it, you as the person who's the shepherd, helping the individual find the place, taking them there, looking through the paperwork, and then they'll ask you to sign something. Remember, you're not the person who's moving in. You're just the person who was with them. They try to get you to sign paperwork that obligates you when that individual can no longer afford their stay, that you become legally liable for the bills. It's despicable practice. So when you're there accompanying somebody, never sign anything. Hear me on this. You sign nothing. Now I want to deal with a consequence that also is occurring. And this one I've addressed based on questions we've gotten from people. So you have a relative, or you're the person listed on paperwork as the person to contact if something happens. You're a non-relative, but you're listed on the paperwork. And that individual passes away or moves out of that facility for whatever reason. And then you start getting contacted by a collection agency trying to get you as a family member or as that loving, caring family member, not family member, but friend, to pay their bills. And dunning you, telling you, you are legally liable for them. Now, this is for somebody who signed nothing. You are not responsible for those bills. You are not liable for them. And you do not let anybody con you into paying 1 cent. You hear me on this? Not 1 cent. You don't let them con you. Now, there's another thing that confuses people. There are about, I think it's about half the nation's states have laws on the books that are seldom actually enforced, that if you have a parent, you're an adult child, you have a parent who has lived in a facility and they are impoverished, and the parent ends up on the state Medicaid program. There are laws on the books in a number of states, again, seldom enforced, that going back to English common law hold you responsible as an adult child, or if there's multiple children, you're all held liable for the state's costs for the Medicaid coverage that the state provided for your parents, late parents' care in a facility, a nursing home, whatever. Now, it is theoretically possible, and you can look up on a search, whatever search engine you use or AI tool, you can see whether the state that your parent resides in has a law in the books holding adult children responsible. You can also research, are they actually enforcing it? That's the one circumstance where it could be a legitimate demand of money from an adult child for the care of a parent, when you have pulled on the parent has needed state resources to pay for their care. That's a lot to spit out, isn't it?
So much to navigate. Navigating this with my parents right now. So there's a lot I'm learning, and I'm going to try to share a lot of what I'm learning on Clark.com soon. So,
that's awesome.
And then we'll do some on the podcast too. Irene in Alabama says, Clark, can you talk about what to look for in senior housing options? I want to live around other active seniors where I can have community and support as I grow older, but I hesitate getting stuck in a CCRC, unable to move if it's not properly managed.
You and I
We've
have
talked
so
lot
much
about
with
this.
each other about CCRCs.
Continuing care retirement communities.
Yeah, I have a relative that I recently helped move into a CCRC. You have been doing a lot of that for a relative. And continuing care retirement community, the way it tends to work is they're geared towards more affluent senior citizens, and you move into an amenities-oriented facility, campus, if you will, that tends to have on it semi-independent living and mid-rise or your own townhouse kind of thing, cottage, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then when you need it, on the campus they will have
assisted living,
nursing care, or memory care.
And then memory, yeah. Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. The biggest ones have all three of the more acute care kind of facilities. You have to buy in.
Not always.
Well, that's what I'm going to get to.
Okay.
The business model geared towards more affluent people is you buy in at a most common figure of somewhere around $1 million to buy in. Depending on the facility, it could be much more than that. I was talking to a friend, or less, talking to a friend who a relative just spent $3.1 million. Yeah. Buying into a CCRC.
And I know someone who spent $300,000.
That's right. It's all over the board. And these CCRCs, if they go bust, you lose all that money. And you may not have a place to live anymore.
And the money, depending on how much you put in the plan at the CCRC, if you leave, you can get up to like some 80% back, or
50%,
or
0%.
0%. If you pay a lower fee, you might, and your estate gets it.
In other words, these are very complicated, and it's why you want to pay someone who is an expert at this to find the appropriate facility. But this, again, only is for people that are very wealthy. Because if you take everything you've got and you put it into the buy-in to one of these CCRCs and the place goes bust, the experience again and again and again, all your money's gone. All your life savings, whatever you made from selling your house, all that And then where are you going to go next? The alternative that your relatives are doing is they're going in a place geared towards the middle class that there's no buy-in.
Well, it's definitely you have to have a lot of monthly income to do a place like they're looking at. So there's different levels, but this one has pretty much all the amenities of the beautiful CCRCs we've toured as well. But you have a high monthly rent to be in this facility, but you don't, it's like you're renting, you can get out at any time. You pay like basically 1 month down to get in on the rent, but then the rent might include a couple of meals a day. And so,
and a lot of the amenities and classes and exercise and that sort of thing included in them. So this is an area that is very hard to navigate. And that's why I like for you to hire a navigator to help you. Now, the navigators come in two flavors. Ones that you pay who operate as a fiduciary, who are working legally fully for you. Then there are others that will navigate for you for free, but they work based on commission from the facilities. And so you have that inherent conflict of interest. You have to have the most Florence Nightingale kind of person who's not charging you a fee, who is not just recommending the place that pays them the highest commission.
And there are lots of people out there who are legitimate, who care. But yeah, just like any other thing you might have, say you get a real estate agent, do they want to steer you to the most expensive house or the house that's right for you?
Right. And so this is an area that the financial decision you make at that point can be critical. And that's why you need to be really, really careful. And I hope that we did a good job, Irene, answering your question. And one thing, a lot of Americans who don't have large resources available are actually going outside the United States for senior care. There's a big movement of people to various countries, Mexico and other places in Central America, where your dollar goes so much further and the care in many cases is more personal than it's going to be in the United States because of the forever labor shortages for this kind of care in the U.S.
Kerry in Idaho says, I recently decided to purchase a medical vibration platform to help with osteoporosis, muscle tightness, lymphatic drainage, etc. The brand that was recommended by two friends who own them didn't have the most amazing reviews online, customer service issues, but it does say it has a lifetime warranty. Since it's about a $400 purchase, I don't want to throw money away. My question, which would offer more consumer protection, buying directly from the company or buying through Amazon? And would this answer be true for most purchases?
So Amazon used to be the automatic answer, that Amazon was there for you when you bought something, but Amazon is not as helpful as they used to be with third-party sellers, which almost everything on Amazon now is a third-party seller. So if the reviews online for customer service are mediocre, I would read what Amazon says where you purchase it, what they say about how returns are done, that sort of thing. But if Amazon's kind of non-committal about it, and you do want to buy this brand, I would definitely buy it through Amazon instead of from the company itself, because then you do have a chance, which you're saying there's a chance?
Saying there's a chance.
That you may get an additional layer of help in the event that you do have a problem with the product and the company itself is not helping you as their warranty says they would and should.
And just hate to be negative, but we had someone who wrote in about a refrigerator she bought on Amazon. She works with autistic. It turns out adults. We thought it was children on the show. And she went back to Amazon, and they're not helping her because I think they'd offered a replacement. The company offered a replacement fridge, but like she couldn't choose the color, which and some other things. So Amazon kind of told her to pound sand.
Yeah, I mean, Amazon is not who they were before. They're not in the hungry, help the customer, we don't care if we make money kind of phase. Now they're all about using their market share as muscle, and that's just the fact.
Ray in California says, I own a 2016 Honda Clarity. Is that right?
Yep.
Whose EV mileage range has reduced from its original 42 miles to a current 32-mile range.
Sounds like a Leaf from that era, Nissan Leaf.
Fearing a further range reduction, I'm considering selling the car valued at approximately $17,000.
What?
I know, that's high. But also I'm considering giving the car to my 18-year-old niece.
No.
The car is in very good condition, but my niece would not have access to electric charging and would be only able to use the gas option to run the vehicle. Would this be a good use of this hybrid, or would we be better off selling and buying her a vehicle that better fits her needs?
That was. I don't know how I answer yes to that. It's the second one. Sell it and use the money to buy something else for your niece.
Okay, that's a simple thing.
Yeah,
and also they say the car is paid off, and I've already replaced it with a 2025 Prius.
It's funny how the Prius was kind of given up for dead for a while. Prius is hot again. Do you know that it's extremely hard to find a Prius available to buy in the United States right now?
Wow.
People are really into buying them again because they average, I think, like 56 miles a gallon or something. So it's half of what a typical electric vehicle equivalent would be. But it's also cheaper than the typical electric vehicle. So
I have some bad news. I stink. Everyone's going to be upset. But Friday, we're not going to do a Clark Stinks because you.
Well, you don't blame yourself.
It's okay.
It's the calendar.
I made the decision because we
you made
didn't
the
do
right
a show on
decision.
Monday.
Yeah.
And there's so many questions that we need to get to. So.
Yeah. So since Monday, Labor Day, I was goofing off. You weren't goofing off. I was goofing off.
Oh, I goofed off. Sure.
So I took Labor Day off. So that means what we sacrificed was Clark Stinks. So basically Friday is Monday in this case. They were doing a normal
Okay.
a normal podcast, not Clark Stinks.
But we'll be back the following week.
With
the Clark Stinks.
With Clark Stinks. So, I mean, they're going to pile up, Krista. What are you going to do? I mean,
I know, but the questions have been piling up because
Right.
we do a higher percentage of Clark Stinks than we ever did in terms of content since you went to 3 days a week.
you never let me get past my guilt.
No, I'm
Going
not.
from 5
I think it's
podcasts to
great
3.
that you did that. I want you to enjoy your life and have balance. I think it's wonderful that you're doing the podcast, for sure. You're projecting. That's called projection.
Oh, so work-life balance is out of style right now. You know that?
No, it's not.
According to corporate America, they're only looking for people who want to spend 168 hours a week being committed to the employer. That it's like their revenge for what they feel like they got taken advantage of with remote work the last few years. But anyway, I digress. Friday, normal podcast. Following Friday, back to Clark Stinks. And know what we're all about. We're about you learning ways to save more, spend less, and avoid getting ripped off. And see you on Friday.